Alrighty, and we are live. Hey guys, welcome to the Superherocuts show where we're talking all things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. It's your boy Stevie Hayes, joined by Jerry. What's up, dog?
What up, bro? As usual, it's my fault that we're late. So
It don't matter, bro. It don't matter. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to talk, man.
Me
I'm
too,
ready,
me
man.
too.
I'm ready to get it, bro. So, it's been a crazy day of news. But I want to talk about something real fast. So, for some reason on Instagram, right, and I just want to talk about this real quick. It was so funny, bro, because I usually post like 5 or 6 like videos like every couple of days just from my TikToks, just trying to repurpose content, whatever. And these guys commented on my page basically. So the video that I posted was when Brad Winderbaum he basically did an article with Darren Fisher can suck it. Oh my god, Aaron Fisher.
This might be in the Snyder cult. I didn't mean to.
He said, "My glorious kings are back." Oh my god.
What up, Derek?
What up, Dirk? So basically, bro, these dudes were coming at me because Brad told Screen Rant that X-Men is the main priority, which I love, and we love that. You know what I'm saying? And the guy was like, "That isn't a reputable source." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Unless if it comes from the mouth of Marvel, it is fake." I said, "Bro, he's an executive at Marvel Studios. What are you talking about?" And this has been a problem that Jerry and I were literally talking about this last night, and it's so bad that even Comics Explained talked about this on his X the other day about how I think he did a video on the Human Torch. And then what ended up happening is someone was like, "Yeah, well, the sun is so. He's like, "What are we talking about here? Like, this is in a science class. We're talking about superheroes, bro. Why do you think that we have so many like know-it-alls in our space? It's so weird."
I think that it's just like comes with the territory of the internet. Everyone pretends they're an expert in everything. It's like, no matter what the topic is, everyone you're talking to is the expert. And, I've noticed so the other day I saw someone on Threads and completely not comics or movies, but they were like, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are going to be on MSNBC, and MSNBC is doing Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens show. And the post had so many likes, so many comments, and people, they were like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. I can't wait, yada, yada." And it's like, are you okay? Like, you really believe this?
Yeah, that was definitely a troll.
2 seconds. I knew it was fake right away, but
that's hilarious.
It would take you 2 seconds to Google this to find out that this was fake. But these are the kind of people you're dealing with on the internet. And I'm not saying that specific political alignment falls for it more than anything else. I actually think not, whatever. I don't mean to make a certain side look stupid, but it's like at some point, if we can't call out people on our own side, what are we doing? And I think that's how you end up losing. And it's detrimental to the fandom if you have people who are not intelligent and want to say my big problem is people who don't read the comics, they don't really know what they're talking about. And then a post like, "Oh, Mr. Freeze should be the villain for the Batman too." And then you have a big campaign for people who think Mr. Freeze should be the villain because they saw an animated episode of him in 1995 and they never stopped to think, isn't it weird that you really never saw him again since that episode and that boss fight in Arkham City? Those are the only 2 times you've seen Mr. Freeze. Give me a fucking break, man. It's ridiculous. And it's crazy. I'm not going to believe it unless it comes from Marvel. Bro, if you don't know who Brad Winderbaum is, that's a problem. And if you didn't think to Google who Brad Winderbaum is in this conversation, "Oh, well, I'm not going to trust it right here from the trades." And also, I hate that mentality too, because the trades and they get things wrong sometimes too. And it's kind of for a while, my sister was like, oh, well, I'm not going to believe it unless it comes from like CNN. And I'm like, okay,
bro. And nowadays, bro, the trades have been sourcing the insiders so that we read. That's the funny part. It's like we gotta be kind of choosy with this stuff. So it's very interesting what's kind of going on. But yeah, bro. All right. I know you guys want to get to the news, so we're going to get to it. So we're going to start it off with me taking my L, man. I got to be a man, and I have to face the music, okay? I went on a campaign on X, on Instagram, on every possible platform. We even posted a debate where me and Jerry kind of went at it for like darn near a half hour about me, wanting Robert Pattinson to be in the DCU. And so now it is official. James Gunn announced that Robert Pattinson will not be the DCU Batman. So, this is a sad day for me, but I am, but as I've said before, right, I am not the biggest fan of two Batman, but I understand why, you want to get your own DCU Batman, and this gives us the opportunity to get an actual comic accurate, Batman that is going to be perfect for the DCU. So I'm going to take my L. So Jerry, I'm gonna pass over to you.
I'm getting tired of collecting these W's. It's like it's getting old for me. Like Tom Brady, what's your favorite W? The next one. So
that's a great quote, by the way. Great quote.
It is a great quote. I warned you on this one. Big time. This is like the biggest disagreement saga we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I just knew that. Listen, I like Robert Pattinson. I do. I think he was a great Batman. I think he's going to continue to be a great Batman. But there were a couple reasons that most of the internet said, and I didn't really think most of the internet had a good argument on this one. I really didn't. I think everyone, was kind of saying, oh, well, it wouldn't work because the Batman is a more grounded, realistic universe. So Robert Pattinson's Batman couldn't fit the DCU. That makes no sense. Like
1,000%.
You could take Robert Pattinson out of the Batman epic crime saga and put him in a different universe. That wasn't my issue. My issue was that he was very emo, very reserved, and very soft-spoken. And to be the leader of the Bat family and to be either the prime leader or commanding force in the Justice League, I think you needed a more outspoken and commanding characterization of the Batman character. And I don't think we got that from Pattinson. And even when I kind of said this, when we were arguing about it, you said to me, oh, well, he could change. And like, my thing was, why not pick? We have the opportunity to pick the perfect Batman for the DCU. Why not just do that? So that was kind of my thought process on it. And again, I think that it's, just because I agree with someone doesn't mean I'm not going to criticize why someone else agrees with me, because we get to the same place through different thought processes, and mine's better. So, I mean, that's just weak. Like, that's just such a weak argument. Like, he was in, so what,
and that's what pissed me off when people would say that, because it's like, bro, like that's the stupid explanation. I at least respected yours, because yours was actually valid. Of like, this is what I saw, and I don't think that he can do. Like, I respect that. But other people say the dumbest stuff. Oh my gosh. So I
don't take that as a critique of his Batman. Again, I like his Batman. It worked for the universe it was built for. And I can't wait to see the Batman Part 2. And lately, people are doing polls on social media, the Batman versus MCU movies, and it really makes you think, like, wow, I think someone did like the Batman versus the Winter Soldier, and like that's a toss-up. That's a really tough call. What would you say?
Winter Soldier clears, bro. Winter Soldier clears easily.
I think I voted the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's the best. I mean, that's like the best MCU film, solo film of all time, versus the Batman isn't the best DC film of all time.
Nah.
So yeah, I'm not saying that, but it's not the best. But it's not the best DC. I mean, I think the Winter Soldier clears everything that the DC has made so far. I ain't gonna lie. Like Winter Soldier is just another level of greatness. But yeah, man. But yeah, as I said, I mean, I kind of prepared myself for this to happen because like the way that I felt is that if Robert Pattinson was going to be the DCU Batman, we would have been got an announcement, and the development for the Batman 2, I think, might have stopped. But when you think about the Penguin and how big that was, they would be stupid to stop what's going on there, you know. And what also swayed me, which I was never going to say until they announced it for prideful reasons, you know. Everybody has pride, but one of the main reasons that really swayed me was when I found out that that WB is broke, and I was like, oh yeah, they're definitely doing it because they need that money, and the reality is money is what makes the world go round and round, and the Batman is an easy $700-800 million movie right there.
Not
the bat, so
only that, it is the only tried and true mega successful property they have right now. It's the only one. You could say what you want about the hype for the Superman movie. You could say the hype for the Lanterns and all that stuff. And I'm as excited as everyone else. But until those movies come out and have hard box office numbers, everything is speculation. And that's another thing I think we need more of in the fandom. Like, our fandom doesn't understand basic concepts. They don't understand the concept of speculation. And it's like a lot of people, whatever they think is going to happen, they take that as fact and they argue as if their predictions are fact. And it's like, bro, if you don't understand the concept of speculation, like, how am I even having a conversation with you?
100%. So yeah, man. I mean, as I said, I mean, like I was trolling with Slav saying I cried. Like I didn't really cry. It doesn't necessarily. I was like, I tweeted. So I think I said like tears were shed or something like that. Just to joke around.
Yeah.
But as I said, like I understand what they're trying to go for, and you want to go for more comic actor Batman, and like you want someone like a not this actor per se, but you want a what's his name, Alan Richardson type of body frame. You want a guy that's Paul's big and super husky. So I feel like they're gonna go for someone like crazy.
So on that note, I do think that and this is another problem I have with fan castings. I'm really airing out my problems with fandom today, but we need to hold people to a higher standard. Sorry, not sorry. Actually, not sorry, just not sorry. Anyway, like, number one, I'm always a fan of, I shouldn't say always, but I am pretty bullish on no names being casted. And especially for comic book movie roles. We have to understand that they could pick an actor who might not necessarily be Alan Richardson size now, but is going to put on Alan Richardson type size to be a brolic Batman.
Exactly. And that's why, like, I am changing my view on fan castings, where I'm going to start saying types, not the actual actor. So the way that I want to word is like, I want the Alan Richardson type, as in size and kind of mass. Because he also ended up putting on a lot of size for his Jack Reach role. By the way, season 3 is great so far. I'm almost done episode 1, so really, really, really good.
Oh, I know. I finished episode 1 last night.
It's oh my gosh, it's so awesome. And the plot is just so different. We'll talk about that on Spectrum soon, but the plot is freaking amazing. But anyways, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. But all right, so we're good on Robert Pattinson. We're excited for the Batman 2. We're hyped for whoever this Batman is going to be. So, but we have a lot more Batman to talk about. So
I want to say something else real quick about Alan Richardson.
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't read your whole comment, Hungry, but I don't want Alan Richardson as Batman. I like him as an actor. I don't think he is the right choice for Batman. And I also think that, and maybe I need to develop this a little more, but he is very politically outspoken. And I think the DCU is not in a position to take on that unnecessary risk. Like, we have a lot of actors and castings that fall apart for controversies. And I understand, Jonathan Majors is a much different type of controversy than being outspoken politically, but it does rub a lot of fans the wrong way, whichever side you go. And I'm not saying it because he is not on the same political alignment as me. I keep it consistent. I don't think that it's the best move. I just don't. And if we could avoid that, I think that would be better.
Yeah, I mean, and since you work in like the equity space, right? Like you oh my bad. I said it. Oh well.
Yeah.
But you're right. But since you are a business guy, like you know that with certain things you're not going to give attention to, right? Like you know that if there's a way that you can avoid it, you're going to avoid it. And that's the way that James Gunn needs to move. And that is the way that he has moved, with a lot of his casting and stuff. We don't really see a lot, being said and going on. Which I applaud them for setting that standard. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that. At least with WB side, Disney's a whole different monster.
In my side, I mean, now that I guess basically cat's out of the bag, like, when you're getting a deal done, you need to communicate. Like, it needs to be, we need to know everything about the business, and there's any like red flags or skeletons in the closet, like that kind of stuff. It's not being upfront about it, I mean, kills deals all the time. All the
100%.
time.
100%, bro. So, all right, now let's read some chats here. Let's see. You mean mutants can't say X-Men anymore? Why can't we say X-Men anymore? We'd love to know why. Man, lots of news, so much I gotta say. Can't wait to see what you gotta say, my dog. Superherocuts, what is your thoughts on James Gunn's Justice League might have Endgame event, and do you think we will get a part 2 after the Endgame event of Justice League movie? Let me see if we have that topic in here. I think we actually had that as a topic. So Hunter, we're going to hold that off for a little bit. I don't know if you guys watched the Brandon Davis video, but apparently he was able to go there and ask questions. And unless Brandon is lying, he said that Safran said that 2027 they will release a Batman movie. So are they talking about Pattinson? Because Pattinson, they start filming like this fall. So I always thought that 2027 Batman movie is going to be the Batman, not the DCU one. But we'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, if they are filming this year, there's no reason that movie shouldn't come out by 2027.
100%. Sup, nerds? Jalen, what's up, dog? Brandon said that Peter said that 2027 they will release a Batman movie, but didn't specifically say the Batman Part 2. Maybe I'm reaching, but do you think it's Brave and the Bold? No, I don't think Brave and the Bold comes out before the Batman 2, because the Batman 2 already has the fire that's built up from Penguin. They will be stupid to do that. You know what I mean? In my opinion. And that's why I want to help you guys out. Don't expect a Batman casting at Comic-Con either. They're pushing Superman. And honestly, they can afford to announce a Batman casting. Batman is such a big character. It would take so much attention from what doing. They have to sell this movie. And there's actually a quote from James Gunn, and I think you liked that tweet, basically where he was saying that like we're putting everything into Superman, into this promo and stuff. And so I think they're playing it really safe.
There is like a bandwidth of attention, and if they announce the Batman casting before Superman, attention will be diverted, and they need Superman to be exceptional. Period.
Exactly. Hooray! 2 Batmans. Facts.
I agree.
I can't wait to see Alan Ritson. I can't see Alan Ritson as Batman, especially after watching that interrogation scene in The Reacher. But Brandon Sklenar did in 1923. Oh my God, I see it. He has the voice and everything. So a lot of insiders. I saw some insiders the other day saying he will be terrible as Batman. But I have yet to see a movie that he's done. So
yeah, I don't really know who he is other than fan. I see his name from fan castings, but I hate fan castings. I hate it so much. Yep. If I only know of someone from like a popular fan casting, it's almost going to turn me off. And I posted the other day, I was like, the Henry Cavill being fan casted as James Bond is like all the proof we need that fan castings suck.
Mm-hmm. I say Alan would make a great Captain Atom or just play Aquaman. I think Alan should just stay as Jack Reacher. Totally
Yeah,
fine.
but Jack Reacher's, how many seasons are they going to do?
Yeah.
I do. But again, I don't know if I want him in the DCU.
But he's been used in DC so much. Like I don't just want, because I mean he was Aquaman in Smallville, and then he was a
In
part of the
Titans.
Hawk and Dove. Like I just want him to do, like there's other franchises that he can do. Like I do get sick of the recycled actors a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
Like, I want to see new faces for everyone. And with Corn Sweat and Brosnan and Holt, like you have the opportunity to like really put on some new actors. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to diverge from DC real quick because I really wanted to talk about this Spider-Man stuff. So there's this new guy that's coming up. His name is the Redacted Spider, and I kind of didn't really give him any like creeds until I looked at his X and saw who he was followed by. I saw the people that he was, communicating with, and there's some really like legit guys, like really like heavy spoilers is like that's like his boy, and heavy spoilers is a guy that I respect in the content game because he sees all the shows first. He's always first and stuff. So I want to read something that he said he heard about Spider-Man. And obviously Jerry was super excited about this. So let me read this off to you. He said, "What I'm hearing, the point of inspiration for Spider-Man 4 is indeed the Batman. While the Homecoming trilogy was more lighthearted and optimistic, Destin and Marvel will lean into that anger. Expect more grit and more focus on hand-to-hand combat and no multiverse bad guys. The film will still lead into Secret Wars, but the current priority at Marvel is making a grounded and more mature direction for the webhead after the events of No Way Home and Born Again." And also what came out after this is that Kingpin does mention Spider-Man apparently multiple times in the show. So we'll love, so obviously I know this, you told me you were hype.
Everything I've said of that Spider-Man 4 needs to be. This is another major W for me. If you've been watching the show, you already know it's awesome. You can't have that. You can't have the Home trilogy end in the way No Way Home did and not have a grounded classical New York Spider-Man movie. And of course he's not going to be happy. I mean, look what he just had to do, the sacrifice he made. I mean, if he came on in Spider-Man 4 and his life was happy-go-lucky, I mean, it would have been like No Way Home was just a gimmick for tickets. It was not about the story. It was not about the development for the character. So I'm glad that they're doing this because you can't. What's the point of having a high stakes ending like that if it's not going to have implications to the future? It makes no sense. So I'm also starting to get the feeling that, and this is a bit riskier of a call on my end.
What is it?
But maybe we're going to get the black suit.
I agree. And that's what I've been saying. Well, when I covered this on TikTok, I was like, this has symbiote written all over it.
How far are you on the JMS run?
Probably like a quarter.
Dude, the black suit arc is insane. It's short, but it's like one of the greatest Spider-Man arcs.
100%. And
so you read the Back in Black arc.
So I watched. So this is funny. So I watched a TikTok series on it a while ago where they talked about it because they were basically saying that they were basically breaking out Secret Wars, but saying that JMS's black suit needs to be the adaptation that they take when they're trying to do
the best one.
Spider-Man. Yeah, and they're basically like a JMS guy, but I have been saying that, and I also did say like I do want Peter with the mask going for 90% of the film. I feel like we've gotten so much Peter Parker in the first three, in the home era, you know what I mean? So it would be super hyped to get a darker, take on a Spider-Man and just seeing him wearing the mask a lot more. But I also do think that I
think 90% is a little much, but I do agree that I want to see a lot of screen time of him.
For sure. And also, like, there was a rumor that came out like earlier too about that he's getting a new supporting cast. So I mean, this is the perfect time to put in the Harry Osborn and bring in the Norman and give us a Gwen Stacy and just some other characters around here, you know.
Yeah.
And I hope that they fix the whole MJ thing too. I hope that like Zen, like because I know that she's going to be in it, but can we call her Mary Jane? Can we dye her hair red? Like, can we actually get?
Well,
this
she's
a little
not
more
Mary
accurate?
Jane. She even
I
said,
wanted to retcon it, dude. I wanted to retcon it so
yeah.
bad. So
I
stupid.
think they did that though because of the rights. I think that
Mhm.
was the
Like
reason.
the Sony rights.
Yeah, and MJ actually stands for Michelle Jones. But you know, the relationship between Harry and Norman, I mean, there's so much stuff there. I mean, you know, there's a comic called American Son. It's part of the Brand New Day series, which is like super long, but
Yeah.
you know, it's really cool because it's Norman Osborn, where he is the governor, and he also just did the hostile takeover of Hammer Industries. He is the Iron Patriot. He controls the Avengers, and Harry, whose girlfriend or wife or whatever is pregnant, and you know, Harry goes to work for Norman, and of course it all falls apart, you know. But I think that relationship is a big piece here. And, you know, as it was in the Sam Raimi movies, they're going to have to add some of these characters. Like, I don't know who else they're going to add. You know, I mean, of course they could go. There are other friends Spider-Man has. There's the guy who I forget, I'm blanking on his name, but Boomerang was his roommate, you know, the villain Boomerang. Not that I really want to see Boomerang be a villain. Randy Robertson, who is the son of Robert Robertson, who works at the Daily Bugle. So there are other characters, but like, you know, if you're not reading a ton of comics, you probably don't know these characters. And I think the right move would be to just go with Harry and Norman. They are the two best characters in terms of Spider-Man supporting cast. Like, we got to have them. And the MCU, if you've been watching the show, you already are sold on Norman Osborn needing to be in the MCU.
I mean, and Norman Osborn was great in the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show. I mean, like watching him, I'm like, man, we need Norman in the MCU, bro. I was like, dog. Like, and that's not even the best version that we could get. You know, we could get a way better version in live action. So but yeah, man, this is really good news. And you know, like kind of where I was, like, I didn't care if it was either one. I just wanted it to be good. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we're getting something that's totally different, I think it's going to shock a lot of people, bro. And I also think that this is and we talked about this when Tom Holland did that like interview, saying that when he saw the script, he turned it down. He was like, yeah, like, this is not what we're doing. It definitely had to be a multi like versal story. It had to be. And at a point, you know, I do want to say thank you to Tom Holland for standing on that, because he's in touch with what his fans want, you know, and a lot of his fans do want to see Spider-Man at his core, Spider-Man at his best, which is what he's going to do. So hopefully this is true, and I'm excited to see the combat. That's what I'm really excited for, because Destin knows how to direct hand-to-hand combat very well.
100%. And that's what makes me think Black Suit. But, you know, it bothers me that the only like good examples of Marvel, and I like both of these movies a lot. One of them is one of my favorite movies, and the other is also a really good movie. But Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine are like the only real solid multiversal movies from Marvel. And when it comes to the multiversal concept and the way it's used in the movie, both of them are pretty similar. And I think Marvel needs to do something groundbreaking with the multiverse concept in their movies. And I don't think they're going to get a lot of credit for the multiversal saga. And I think the multiversal saga, was the multiversal saga good? Was it underrated or not? I think a lot of that rides on the innovation they do in the storytelling around these multiversal movies. And I think Fantastic Four, I'm really hoping, is the one that like shows us something new with the multiverse in Marvel, and not just like the cameos and the, oh, we need to do this to the multiverse to save the day, with the Time Ripper or whatever, getting the villains back. And like, it's the multiverse, and it's like crazy that Marvel is lacking in their creativity around the multiverse in the multiversal saga.
And that's why I think that Fantastic Four, so many people are excited for, because it's so different from what we've seen. And yes, they're on another Earth and stuff like that, but like they're obsessed with what's going on their Earth. And the trailer also raises a lot of questions, and questions that matter, versus where the Thunderbolt raises questions, but most fans just hype for Sentry. Just being real, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, and you are right. And to me, the way I'm feeling, it feels like the Thunderbolts is the last of this Phase 4 stuff that we're going to get movie wise. It seems like after Fantastic 4, they're just going on a crazy
run. Technically in Phase 5.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the Phase 4 vibe. You know what I mean? Like, because like Thunderbolts to me feels like they're trying to tie up, like they're trying to tie some loose ends on some of the Phase 4 stories. With having Ghost and all these other characters, and then we go right into the Fantastic 4. Then we get Avengers and Spiderman and all of that stuff. It seems like they're trying to do that, but we shall see what happens. All right, Origin. Sorry.
I was going to say it's completely like a side note and random, but
what's up?
So the other day I saw someone on Threads, and they were like, so basically people were talking about She-Hulk, and someone made a comment how it was like, I forget the exact comment, but it was like a good comment. And it was like, basically said the show wasn't fully accurate to She-Hulk in the comics. Yeah. And then some, if like the type of people on Threads, like, the kind of person, the guy who responded, he was like, oh, well, you're wrong because whatever. And you obviously haven't read you obviously haven't been reading enough She-Hulk comics. So I responded to them and I said, what are your favorite She-Hulk comics and why?
Did you respond back?
Nothing. The next day I said to them,
where you at?
I came back. I took my victory lap. I was like, of course, you had nothing to say because you don't read She-Hulk comics, poser. I was like, it's fine if you want to defend the show, but like, stop pretending you read comics to put someone else's viewpoint down. Like, that is corny. And it's crazy because a lot of the people you see talking in the comments, they pretend they read comics. They really have no idea what they're talking about.
100%.
They are just caping because they like the agenda in the show.
Hey, look, right. It's fine to not read comics, but just say that, like, and just say, yo, just say, yo, I don't read this, but this is my viewpoint, because that's how I was for a while. I was like, yo, I don't read, but this is my viewpoint. Like, this is how I see it. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to read comics to be a fan.
That's not even what he's saying. He literally
just stop trying to flex. Like, that's the thing, bro.
You don't read enough She-Hulk comics. Like, bro, you don't read comics. So, like, who are you to say that?
And if I read comics, you don't even read that. Like,
what I don't read is She-Hulk comics, and I read a ton of comics, and I can tell you, most people who read comics aren't reading She-Hulk comics. I hate to break it to you, but She-Hulk is not a top seller.
No,
like, let's be real here.
No. I think I saw her in the last time I read her was when she was in Avengers versus X-Men. That's the last time I saw her.
Oh, I think she was on the cover of. She was on the cover of a comic I was reading recently, and I was annoyed.
Yeah, I liked her in I think it was a Avengers vs. X-Men. I liked her in that one because she was actually just playing her part, being the muscle. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, she could be a cool character. It's just that's not what they did with the show. And
100%.
Yeah, I don't like her. I don't like the actress that played her. I just that show.
Yeah, it's corny. Yeah. All right. Next topic, Brave and the Bold. Let's get back to some DC stuff. So there's some Brave and the Bold updates. So the writer has been hired and the script is now being written. James Gunn is working closely with the writer. The story follows Batman and his son Damian Wayne as Robin, and Andy Muschietti will be the first one to see the script when it's done. And just to also put, Andy is not confirmed as the director yet. It's only said that he's going to see the script when it's done. We don't have technically a slated director yet for Batman. So I think that this is some crazy news about this, because we did get an interview where Andy said that he was going to direct it. Now it seems like they don't have a guy that's attached yet, but we will see what happens. I feel like that whole situation is weird, but I am happy that James Gunn ended up giving us some updates about this. And a question that I do have with Raven and Bold is like, how big is this movie going to be? Because when I look at Superman, and when I look at the fact that there's like 5 to 6 new characters in that, we're talking about Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific. We're talking about finally seeing Lex, and I'm pretty sure Lex is gonna don a suit in that film as well. We got Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen's in this too. There's a lot. Like, Superman is a really big movie. I wonder how big Brave and the Bold is going to be in the eyes of the DCU, and I think that this has to be their biggest solo film of all time, or not of all time, but so far that they're going to do. But how do you feel about these updates?
Pumped. I was glad to hear that there's movement on it, and I'm dying to find out who the Batman actor is. Like, I might even be more excited to find that out than see Superman. No, I'm kidding.
Facts, bro. Facts.
And yeah, I want to know the direction they're going with it. I want to know who the villain's going to be, but I have a feeling we're not going to find out any of that this year. I think this year we'll find out who is playing Batman, and that's probably the most. Yeah. I think towards the end of the year we'll hit rumor territory, but I could see a lot of that being fake information because people want clicks.
What would be hilarious is if like he put a DCU Batman teaser in the list of like trailers before you watch the Batman 2. That would be freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
That'll be freaking funny. But nah, this is awesome news, and to see that there's movement is good. So all right, let's go to the next one here. Teen Titans movie. So we did a video on this. Hold on one second. Sorry, hungry. Gunn did say that the DCU Bats could appear in a future project before Brave and the Bold. My prediction is a Clayface movie. You mean to tell our first look at the DCU Gotham we don't see, and we don't see Batman? I have a different take of that, bro. And I'm dying to see who they cast as both Batman and Robin. Facts. So here's my thought about this, and we had this as a topic. I might just take it out for one talk about it now. So my thought is that James Gunn's going to utilize the Bat family, and I think that's a better deal than putting Batman and everything, because there was even there's been rumblings going around that with this Deathstroke and Bane movie, there was thoughts of putting maybe Nightwing or other Bat family characters in this. I would love to see Bat family characters, and then like hint to the shadow of the Batman. Like, I feel like you could use the Bat family to build up Batman to Brave and the Bold. So then when we see him, it's like a grandiose like opening of like he's the GOAT. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the way that I would like for it.
You just cooked. That's going to be a W for you, 100%. And what I think is the thing about like James Bond movies and the fact that they've never done any spin-offs or whatever is that when a James Bond movie comes out and you're going to see James Bond, it's special. It carries weight to it. And they don't want to like whore out these characters, and they want you to be super hyped and excited for the times you see him. And if you keep seeing Batman pop up in every movie, it's going to wear out. Exactly. And there's a balance there because it's a shared universe. You obviously do need him to appear outside of Batman movies, but a good way to kind of involve him at an arm's length is to utilize these Bat family characters who DC has always wanted to make, Nightwing especially, more popular. So I never thought about it that way, but I 100% agree that's what they're going to do because it's brilliant.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Awesome.
Do we have Clayface on the docket?
I can add it for sure.
Okay, I want to talk on that.
Bet. But yeah, so Teen Titans movie is finally confirmed to be in development. We reported a rumor about that a few months ago. Now that it's confirmed, we're happy to hear that. So with Damian Wayne being in the DCU, do you think that Damian Wayne's going to be the Robin for the Teen Titans, and that this might be like a Robin, or this might be like a Nightwing led operation, or do you think they're going to go back in time and do some like old school stuff, like with like Dick being the Robin?
It's tough to say because we don't. If I had to guess right now, I would say no, because as much as it might seem like a no-brainer, the more I think about it, is that they said that a lot of the inspiration for the Batman movie, Batman Brave and the Bold, comes from the Batman and Robin run by Grant Morrison.
Okay.
And in that run, it's not long after Damian just becomes Robin. And I don't think that Damian, in his earlier days working with Batman, and if you know what Damian's earlier days are like, I don't see him being the leader of the Teen Titans. He's very immature. He's very, I don't listen to anyone. I do it my way. And he's still savage. And Bruce is always trying to get him in line. Nightwing helps in that effort too. I just don't see him being the leader of the Teen Titans, or Bruce even being like, I'm okay with you being on another team while I'm still trying to mentor you to grow up.
Facts. Yeah, that's actually a great point. And that's what the word for when they talk about it, I think they said Damian's fiery attitude or something like that, but the actual the description that James Gunn said has something to do with his attitude is very fiery, or no, they said they said Damian's a firecracker attitude or something, and then that's the perfect way to describe Damian, bro. He's a bona fide crash out. You know what I mean? So
he lives in crash out.
I do think the perfect person to put here is that Zolo Blue Beetle guy. I think he'll be perfect to put on the Teen Titans team, because Blue Beetle, because Blue Beetle wasn't that great of a movie, and I think that under James Gunn's tutelage, he'll be great. And also, Blue Beetle is a powerful character. That Scarab is OP.
He's definitely a cool character. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's cool. And I think that written the right way and put in the right side character. And this sounds rude, but it's just facts. Put in the right side character stance. I think Blue Beetle is a fun character, but we need Raven. That's a must. You need Raven. I would love to get Beast Boy back. By the way, please make Cyborg a teenager. I don't want an adult Cyborg. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ways that they could cook with this Teen Titan. So we'll see what happens. But I'm hella excited, bro. All right, let's see them chats here. The biggest question is if Teen Titans is before or after Brave and the Bold. If before, I can easily see James Gunn doing the 2003 line up with Grayson as Robin and then become Nightwing in the end. If after Brave and the Bold, then Damian and Teen Titans. Yeah, exactly. It really could go either way, because it could also be that Damian is so reckless that maybe Batman has some Justice League mission that he's on or something bigger is coming to his attention, and that he might just drop Damian with Nightwing for a little bit. I don't know, but my personal opinion, I kind of want a committed Robin, so I would like a Dick Grayson led Titans team if they're going to go all in. That's kind of what I would do. And I also think that with comic book movies that I loved when the MCU did prequel origin films. So Captain America, Captain America 1, I love that. Captain Marvel 1, how that I think that movie's in the 1990s, I think. I love when they go back in time and do films, and then they end up leading us up to the time that we're in now. So I wouldn't mind Teen Titans being an older, set in a time before the time that we're in. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be cool. It's interesting because a lot of people really love the Teen Titans. For a lot of people, that's their favorite DC property. Not mine, but yeah, I hope they do it justice, because they need to collect their W's right now.
100%. 100%. All right. Now, next topic here. Green Lantern animated show. So, there is a new series called My Adventures with Green Lantern, and it says this: it will follow a high school student, Jessica Cruz, who has her life upended when, according to an official log line, a Green Lantern empowering falls from the sky and chooses Cruz to be his champion. Things get worse when more debris from the Lantern's ancient space war arrives, along with their alien foes. Jake Wyatt is executive producing, and Stephanie Gonzalez is a co-executive producer. So how do you feel about this Green Lantern show happening in this animated thing that's going on?
I'm happy about it. I wish that it was going to be Hal Jordan because, obviously the DCU seems to be going with John Stewart as their main Lantern, and I would like for my man Hal to get more of his shine somewhere else, and I think this would be cool. But Jessica Cruz is cool, so I'm still looking forward to it, and I'm still happy that the Lanterns are getting like their lore.
Yeah, I love how they're trying to reach all ages, because they're feeding us with the live action, which we're all hyped for, but then they're trying to reach the kids with the with the little things, because the My Adventures with Superman's, a lot of kids in my youth group watched that and they loved it. So, and they hit their demographic well, and I feel like they're maybe trying to do that where like they're trying to hit all age groups at once. And you're right, Jessica Cruz is cool. And I also like the idea from a larger standpoint. Like when I grew up, like the only ones I knew was Hal, John, Kyle, and who's the other guy? Guy. And I only knew Guy Gardner because he was in Batman Brave and the Bold, the little and like the little show. And Guy Gardner was always like the idiot. So, and when you are a kid, when you get introduced to certain characters, you'll never forget who they are. And so I like the idea that they're trying to expand the Green Lanterns past like the main four that have been shown. And I don't even think Kyle's even been shown enough. But I love how they're trying to expand it, because the Green Lantern lore is just so vast and crazy that you could really do a lot with that. So I love how they're actually trying to be creative and focus on, a bunch of different characters rather than just beating the same horse. And also, bro, with Hal Jordan, I really think, and I was really thinking about this earlier, bro. I really think they're going to do a lot with Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan.
Yeah, I think Kyle Chandler is going to be great. I think Aaron Pierre is going to be great. And I think that this show is going to actually, do we know if this show is coming out before the Lanterns? I feel like it probably is.
We do not have a release date yet.
Regardless, I think it's good that the Green Lanterns are getting more airtime. Like, I think that DC and James Gunn know that the Lanterns are dope as hell and people are going to love them. They just haven't been given the proper entries in movies and TV yet.
100%. So, let's see. What do you say? What if they did Grayson, Starfire, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Raven, Wally West, and Donna Troy? Oh, that would be a fire cast, bro. That would be a fire cast. Why Jessica Cruz? If not Hal or John, why not Kyle? I know you guys are not the biggest Kyle guy, but correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Kyle the most popular Green Lantern outside of Hal and John? Yeah, but but you also got to think about this, right? Would you rather want Kyle in live action or animated? And I think that Kyle's the one that they're going to put in the live action.
Yeah, Kyle grew on me in some of the more recent comics. The current run, oh man, the current Jeremy Adams Green Lantern run is so sick.
Wait, who was that again? Sorry, I'm typing it down.
Jeremy Adams.
Jeremy Adams.
Yeah, it is awesome. The art is super cool. The lore, Theragar, like all of it, bro. It is so fire.
Say that. Bet. If you watch Justice League Unlimited, they had John as the main GL while Kyle was the main Lantern. Yup, but with the Lantern Corps, could you see something similar since Gunn is taking inspiration from that? I don't know, bro. I really don't know because Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was saying maybe we'll get like a Lantern Corps show if it is successful. I think that the success of projects for the DCU, especially considering Warner Brothers' financial situation, like I think that they are not going to be greenlighting sequels and successors until they could properly gauge the success of the first entry. And I think that the Lanterns is going to be wildly successful. Is that on the docket?
About what?
The Lanterns, because they were saying maybe we should add it now because they were saying it's going to be weird, and I think we should just put it up so we could.
Yeah, let's just keep it in here.
Okay.
So I'll just.
So the Lanterns, they said it's going to be like really weird and really violent in the way True Detective was, and I never really watched True Detective. But I was kind of looking at like some photos that people were throwing around. And I think that this show is going to be two things. I think number one, it's going to be a proper introduction to fans who don't really know what the Green Lanterns are or about, are going to be able to experience that properly for the first time. And I think that it's also, remember, I keep talking about James Gunn and having to be innovative with the DCU in order to be able to stand tall against the MCU. And I think a lot of that is going to come from doing things with the comic book movie and show genre that we have never seen before. And we've never really seen like a dark, gritty, violent detective show about a space core, so I do think it's going to be also feel really fresh, new, and innovative to hardcore Green Lantern fans like myself and Stevie, but also something that new fans that maybe they saw the Green Lantern movie, maybe they liked it, maybe they didn't, like most people. And I think that this is going to be the show that's going to win them over.
Yeah, I think this show's going to be a whole lot different than what a lot of us expect, even us to an extent. I think that they're going to be tapping into some elements that are going to be very weird. And like there were these lies about these early developments of John like sleeping with her. Like it was just some dumb stuff that people were kind of putting out. But yeah, I think it's going to shake the world. And also with Kyle, Hungry Almighty, I don't want them to dive into Kyle too early because there's so much you can crack down with Hal and John. And personally, my favorite Lantern origin power stories is when it happens during big events. So I would like Kyle Rayner's origin to happen during Justice League, or something big like that. Like I want a catastrophe to be where Kyle gets his powers, and I think that catastrophes are the best ways to introduce new characters. And that's what I want to like. Because I do think that you can give too much too fast, and you can't see Green Lanterns like Brave and the Bold or like Superman. You know what I mean? Because we've gotten so many Superman and Batman films that James Gunn has the advantage to put the Bat family in the first movie. Because that's what fans have wanted. Even with Superman, right? You have Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl. You have the liberty to do that because there's been so many Superman films on his own. And with Green Lantern, I think it's a little different because he has yet to be done right on the main screen. And so you're putting your two best guys out front to get fans comfortable. And I think that's all we need for right now. And then, as I said, I think that John and Hal alone is enough. Those are two strong, commanding characters that I think we can love.
And maybe my expectations are crazy high with this, but my expectation is that the Lanterns and the DCU is going to do for John, probably more so than Hal, is going to have an Iron Man effect the way Iron Man 1 did. And you'll also have to understand, and this is a little different, but Iron Man wasn't always such a popular character in Marvel Comics. And what happened was they wrote a comic called Extremis, and it came out before Iron Man 1, but it like modernized Iron Man for the new post 9/11 world. It's pretty short. Like if you're someone that lengthy comic run is like a barrier for you and you don't want to read a super long run, Extremis is 6 issues and it's all on Marvel Unlimited. I definitely recommend checking it out. It's great.
John Stewart could easily be a part of a big 3 for like the DCU.
Yeah, 100%.
Like kind of like how we have like, you know, Thor, Tony, and Cap in our Endgame saga. Done right, John Stewart could be that, and that would shock a lot of fans because usually it's, you know, Diana, but it could be. And I really think that Aaron Pierre, he already has the swag. Fans already love him already. I think he really could be I think this could be big, bro. Really big.
Bro, I would love nothing more than to see that happen.
Yeah, and like I was reading some stuff about their, you know, camera testing and what they're doing. Apparently him and what's his name? Him and Kyle, apparently their chemistry is really like great. Oh, and that's something I also love because I love when like older actors take younger guys under their wings, and like when you see in like the interviews, like I watched have you seen a Variety do the actors on actors where actors like interview each other?
I think I've seen clips of it, but I've never really watched them in full.
So I watched one. So Michael B. Jordan interviewed Ben Affleck, and they kind of interviewed each other, and it was dope because Ben Affleck gave like Michael B. Jordan all these notes for like for when he did what's that boxing movie? Creed 3. And basically he said that like, and then what I thought was dope was that Michael B was like, yeah, he was like, he said he was talking to Jon Favreau and Ben Affleck and Denzel gave him notes and all of these other guys. Like, I hope that we get to see that kind of like kind of friendship, because I think that in fandom we need that, like the OG kind of taking the young guy, because I feel like we've gotten a lot of young guns and I think it's good, but like that father son kind of like friendship or the big bro thing, I feel like a lot of fans would like really latch onto that. And I hope that's shown in the Lantern as well. So we'll see what happens.
I agree.
All right, let's see what they say here. I'm guessing this animated show for GL is for Cartoon Network. Definitely not. It's for HBO. HBO like owns everything now. Also, I think this show is a part of my Adventure with Superman verse, right? That would be the guess, because the guy that does my ad with Superman is doing this show. So that would be my guess. Love that show, by the way. Great show.
By the way, real quick, it's not so different, it seems, from what like Marvel is kind of doing with their animation now. It seems like, and I don't necessarily want to say that Spider-Man and X-Men 97 are the same universe, but at the very least, Marvel Animation is doing what DC calls Elseworlds, because they're like, you know, it's weird because on Disney Plus, when you look at the MCU continuity, they included X-Men 97. I don't know if they still do, but when it first came out, they did. I remember Stevie and I spoke about that, I think, on the show. But, you know, Spider-Man, we saw Iron Man, we saw Daredevil. Who's to say if we're going to get Iron Man or Daredevil shows, or, you know, Doctor Strange? And I don't think that it's that difficult to just say, these are the same universe, My Adventures with Superman, My Adventures with Green Lantern. And it's just an easy win for them to take, because obviously us fans love shared universe. So I do think they're going to say at some point, like, these are part of our, you know, My Adventures with universe, whatever.
Also, Doctor Strange and your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man looked freaking great, bro.
They all did.
Fire.
Daredevil, Iron Man. I mean, all of it. Like,
yeah, it was sick.
I love that show so much. You know what pissed me off? Someone said online, and it's weird because when it's like, if you are someone who is reading about this and you say this, it's odd. He was like, Spider-Man fans are so weird. Like, you're following what's going on, but you're not a Spider-Man fan. And how are you not a Spider-Man fan?
Everybody loves Spider-Man, right?
Yeah. But he was like, y'all get so excited for your character to just be in the classic suit. Like, and a lot of people do this online. Like, it's very easy to say something like that, but it misses the entire point, was that the entire show they're building up to him getting the classic suit. So of course we were excited for it. Like,
Yeah. And it honored the old in like a beautiful way. Like each cover mimicked the comic book cover. That was fire, bro. That was so dope.
It felt like that show it felt like a comic book in the same kind of way that the Spider-Verse movies feel like a comic book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they landed it perfectly.
Yeah.
So. All right, now this should be quick. So James Gunn talked about Batman again. He said, so I guess somebody asked him about, is he gonna appear in any projects? And this was James Gunn's response. I wouldn't rule anything out. He could show up in something else, but the actor doesn't exist yet. And I love how James Gunn is very choice with his words about saying that, he doesn't exist yet. And a lot of fans, what?
That makes no sense because we saw him in Creature Commandos.
Yes, but I think he's talking about in the live action verse. He's saying like in the whole live action thing that they have going on. Like we don't have an actor, and I feel like he was using that to maybe kill like everybody thinking he's gonna show up as Superman or something like that. Because a lot of I feel like James Gunn's probably getting hounded about Batman, as he should. Because Batman,
that's a sloppy answer.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
why do you think it's sloppy?
Because he was in Creature Commandos. Like, yeah, we only saw his silhouette, but like, how could Batman not exist when the only entry you've done so far he was in? Like,
yeah, well, for the power thing, he said the actor doesn't exist yet, not necessarily Batman, but
okay.
Sorry, let me rephrase. My bad. The actor does not exist yet. Talking about he doesn't have a direct casting. Sorry, guys.
Okay, I think you should fix the title because that's what it looks like.
Oh no, this is clickbait, bro. Don't worry. But yeah, I phrased that totally wrong. But yeah, he said that the actor does not exist yet for Batman. So I am ready for this casting, but I'm with Jerry on this one, man. I don't want any fan castings. Like Corn Sweat was a hit out of left field for us, bro. He never hit my radar. I didn't even know who he was until until his name was being talked about to be Superman. That's what I need for Batman, bro. Give me someone I never thought of. And look, I mean, we knew about Nicholas Hoult, never thought he would be Lex.
And you know what? We're not casting directors, and there is a huge pool of talent that we are unaware of. Like, it is not our job to cast these roles, and we are not experts at casting characters. None of us have ever done it, but everyone seems to feel like they should be the casting director. And it's aggravating, especially because you all say the same exact people for every role. It's like all the annoying people online, they're annoying because they don't think for themselves and they say the same exact things. Oh, Mr. Freeze should be Batman. Oh, Brandon Sklenlar should be Batman. Like, shut up. Like sometimes when I'm going to comment on a post and like I see someone else commented what I was going to say, I don't bother saying it. Like, what's the point?
100%. The only like fan casting that we want, which a lot of people don't talk about, we want Aldis Hodge as freaking Black Panther, bro. That's the only one I'm pushing right now. Yes. That's the only fan casting I'm pushing.
We were down for Damson Idris.
Yes, another one. I'm pushing both of those, bro. Like, we need that ASAP. All right. Now, I know you want to talk about Clayface, so I'm gonna give you the flow.
So James Gunn made a comment about Clayface, and he was like, a lot of people don't really know a lot about Clayface. His story is a tragedy, but he is also like as compelling as a villain as someone like the Penguin or the Joker, but people just don't really know him. And I think that this movie, people are going to be drawn to him after that movie. And that gave me a huge vote of confidence. And I am a Clayface guy. I like Clayface. And I was not originally a Clayface guy, but Batman Detective Comics by James Tynion, which is an amazing run. If you are looking for a Bat Family comic, this is the quintessential Bat Family comic, period. And it's a long run. It's an absolute banger. Clayface was part of the Bat family for a portion of this run. He is a great character, and I think that if people give him a chance, that they are that Clayface is going to win them over. The other thing that I think is interesting is I think it's part of I think James Gunn recognizes the value in having characters that are unexpected win people over, because he's done this time and time again. I mean, that's what he's really known for. And I think that if he has unexpected characters win people over, I think he's going to get a lot of credit, and it will help the DCU's credibility and reputation. So I think that amongst the Superman and Batman Brave and the Bold and the Lanterns, there are also going to be wild card movies like a Clayface movie. And I think that they're going to pay off much bigger than people are anticipating.
Yeah, the biggest thing you got to dive into is the shape shifting. That's one of his best powers, you know what I mean? And I think the shape shifting is going to be what's going to sell a lot of fans. And if they try to work that into live action where he's posing as a Bat family member in live action, that would be nuts, bro.
Yeah,
that would be actually crazy.
He didn't shapeshift to look like a Bat family member. He was him, but you know, he would help.
He would help him out. You're saying,
you know, Hugo Strange had this. The run kicks off with the Monster Men, and the Monster Men is really Hugo Strange's plague on Gotham with these orbs that turn into monsters, and it was crazy. It was cinematic. It was awesome. And Clayface would just shelter them away, and
that's cool.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Awesome. All right, let's read some chats here. Y'all talked about a lot of Batman here while we were talking. Okay. Also, James, I love you, but come on, DC fandom will be so good to announce this rather than just posting it on Twitter and articles. We need our D23 kind of hype event, in my own opinion. I actually don't. I actually like this idea of him talking to the creators directly. I think it's beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. And I also don't think you have to make an event for everything. And you also got to think about this, right? They've done a lot of announcing. Now they have to execute. So I wouldn't have liked another event. That would have just pissed me off. Because really come on. Now, James Gunn, fly us out though next time.
You totally got that from Stephen Amell's comments.
Huh?
That thought process came from
Stephen. Oh yeah, for sure. And look, there is nothing against the communication. I love it. You know what I mean? Because it gives us content to talk about, and it keeps me as a fan. It keeps me more secure as a fan. Versus where with Feige, there's a little mystery with the MCU. So I do like that, but
I think they could get away with another event post Superman.
Yeah, for sure. But right now, don't I like the way he's doing it. He's talking to guys in the fandom that are respected. You do it that way. They could use a stunt double in other projects off distance, like Creature Commandos for Batman. Nah, that's corny. The actor, exactly. Yeah. I think, what do you say? I'm excited for Clayface. I think this movie might be a surprise hit like Joker 1. That would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I think the Clayface movie should be better than Joker 1. I really do. I think Joker 1 is overrated. It is. Joker 1 is, and I know a lot of people like it, but it is the prime example of the results of the mismanagement of the DC brand. And I say that because it's a complete departure of the character, so much so that the director has even said, well, obviously this isn't Joker. But he was called Joker, bro. What are you talking about?
They literally took a trending topic and made a movie about it. It's come on.
Yeah, and I hate that too, because anytime they do that, it becomes an agenda slop. And
and that's why the musical was the next thing, and then it failed miserably.
And the other problem with these agenda-driven movies is you get people that come online and pretend to be MCU fans, but all they really do is cape for the content that fits in their political box, and they don't care about anything else. And it's like, you're not really about the content. You're really just about your politics being shoved down people's throats.
Yeah. Because during the Infinity Saga, we didn't hear from them at all. It's the funny part.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't care about Brendan. How do you say his last name, bro?
I think it's Skelnar.
Skelnar. Yeah, because you said it right earlier. All right, I don't care about Brandon.
No, sorry, it's Brandon Sklenar.
Okay, I don't care about Brendan Sklenar being Bats or not, but I do see why fans say he should be Bats because I watched 1923 and he 100% has the voice and look. He gives that billionaire playboy vibe as well. I'm going to check that out, bro. Do you know what streaming service that's on?
I think it's Paramount. I think it is the prequel to Yellowstone.
I'm going to check that out. If they can make the shape shifting and maybe make it look more Venom like action, Venom like slimy. I get what you're saying, but nothing too crazy.
He's more like a mud. So. But I get what you're saying nonetheless.
What if they expanded the Bat family and Clayface? Maybe we see a stunt double as Batman and Robin, Tim Drake in the distance.
I don't think it's the right place to introduce Batman. Like, make the Batman, the first real Batman appearance. Not like some silhouette and creature commanders. It has to be like special and epic. And as much as I like Clayface and I'm supportive of this movie, I recognize that this isn't that movie.
Yep. So next topic here, The Punisher. So The Punisher special presentation is confirmed to be in the works. John Bernthal is working on developing this. I wanted to talk about something very interesting with you, Jerry, because you and I have critiqued the Disney Plus style a lot lately and how we haven't been fans of how, how it has been going. And I wanted to point this out to you about what is very, very, very interesting, because you and I called this a while ago that a lot of these projects are going to get canceled once they realize what they've done. And they have realized a lot of these shows are getting canned. And what is very interesting, Jerry, is that they're not doing another season for Punisher, but they're doing a special presentation, which maybe going to be like a 1 hour or like a 45-minute special of a Punisher story. So I wanted to know how you feel about that, because I have some thoughts too, like about it. But how do you feel about them trying to move away from the TV show format, but they're doing something different that hasn't been done a lot, which is the special presentation format?
It sucks because I love that they're doing a special presentation. However, I wish they were doing a full series with the Punisher. But I think two things. Number one, I think that they recognize that the second season of the Punisher wasn't nearly as good as the first, even though I love them both. And I think that they maybe feel it will be easier to keep the quality up in a special presentation format rather than a 6 or 8 episode thing. And I love that Punisher's coming back, and I love that they are already announcing plans that is obviously building around the Daredevil ecosystem within the MCU. And what I really love about this, and it's hard to think about this and not think about the rooftop scene where it's like, of course I do. And what do you do, Red?
Yeah.
They're back out on the streets. And I can't wait for the philosophical conversations around who's right and who's wrong in this situation. And as much as I don't want any political agenda within the content, I do think that it will be an interesting thing to watch when considering the controversial soft on crime policies that some major cities have right now and have been topics of heated national debate, and I think that'll be interesting. But I do think that, like the philosophical, I just butchered that word, but whatever. I got it right the first time. That kind of conversation around who's right, who's wrong. And I think that opens up the door for much more thoughtful conversations around superheroes as a whole. And I think when projects do that, it's a really big payoff. Case in point, Captain America Civil War. People still debate that till this day. I think that if you can't recognize Cap was right, you're out of your mind, but whatever, I like these types of discussions. I think that if the fandom is having interesting conversations from the content, that's a sign that the content is good. And I'm not talking about debating whether it was trash or not. I'm talking about debating the viewpoints within the content.
100%, bro. I think that this Punisher special is going to be something that's very, very interesting, and I think that maybe it's a special because it might be leading into some type of movie that Punisher is going to be in. And I like the fact that they're trying to. I like the fact that they're trying to actually change what's going on. Even though I do think the Punisher, it's one of the only characters that could maybe be popular in his own show, but it seems like maybe they have bigger plans for him. You know what I mean? And obviously Daredevil already got its green light for its season 2 already, so they're about to start doing that soon. So that's a great thing. But with Frank, I just wonder what they're going to do, and I think it will be and with the actor like Bernthal, putting him on the movie stage will be insanity. I think, and I think there's a place for Frank Castle in the live action MCU movie verse. And I think that he's going to bring a side of fandom that doesn't really get their feed of violence, if that makes sense. Like there's this part of me, there's this part, bro, in my soul where I want more violence, and Daredevil is my fix for that. And to get that on the live action stage would be fun.
Who I would love to see in Spider-Man 4 is the Punisher. Obviously, Daredevil.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. You also, the Punisher's first appearance was in a Spider-Man comic.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And they could do so many cool things. Like, imagine Spider-Man going super dark and gritty in a black suit, and then him being wait a minute, I'm going too dark. The Punisher, you're out of here. Bro, I got to get rid of the symbiote. That would be crazy.
Or even worse, what if Frank is the one that calls him out on his stuff? That would be nuts.
I don't think he would. I think Frank would.
Really?
Yeah, bro. I think Frank would, because if Frank would egg him on to be further down,
go kill him.
Yeah. Dude, the Punisher is my way or the highway.
Yeah, seeing that live action would be so funny, bro. Oh my gosh. Yeah, or not in live action, seeing it in movies would be funny. So yeah, man, I love the idea though of the presentation, and I hope that's something that they take more advantage of, because I do think that's a good way to tell other characters' story without giving us a 7-week freaking arc. My gosh, bro.
Yeah, so, I know. I just want more Punisher than 1 hour.
100%. So, all right, now let's talk about some of the DC projects that are having issues. Okay, so there are some, and with every positive, there's always some negatives or some lackadaisical things going on. So the following DC projects have had problems. The first one is the Waller project. Still haven't cracked the script yet. Booster Gold showrunner also almost joined but lost interest. And third is The Authority. The script had a harder time coming along. Now, for me personally, bro, this is no shocker that all three of these projects have lost interest or are struggling. But I think it's more so given to the bigger projects that are being worked on rather than whatever. Now, I think Booster Gold is corny, and I know you, and I know he's supposed to be corny, but I've just never gravitated to Booster Gold, so I understand why interest could be lost. And the way I felt about the whole Waller thing, see, I would like if Waller was treated like Nick Fury a little bit, to where Waller would show up in a bunch of different projects. I don't really see a Waller project itself, or I wouldn't want to see a Waller project on its own.
I like Waller. I think it could be a good show, but I get what you're saying. I do think that they are going to have to do things to keep that show lively, but I also think it could be more of a drama than an action show, and it could work. but it would have to have some action because I don't think people are expecting a drama, and I think that would probably disappoint people. But I think they said that Deathstroke is supposed to be in the Waller show, which
Wait,
like,
what?
yeah, bro. That's what they're saying, and that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be groundbreaking. Okay. Yo, James Gunn is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
He's got some balls, man. I will say he does.
Yeah, and like for Deathstroke to be in it would be really cool because, first of all, him and Waller obviously have history. Number one, number two, how she's going to navigate around working with or being an adversarial to Deathstroke, either or is going to be interesting TV.
Could you see Ra's al Ghul being involved?
That would be crazy. I would love it if they like snuck him in there, like they didn't tell us that and they told us Deathstroke and, then the League is part of it and we see Ra's al Ghul.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Okay, you got me sold. You got me sold. Now, how do you feel about the Authority? Like, are you shocked that they're having a hard time writing this project or like what?
Like, bro, it was crazy to me that so many people were like, "Oh, the Authority." It's like,
yeah, I'd never heard of them until they announced it. I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I know of them, but like, there's so many times that like I feel like just like there's some people who like maybe a Comics Explained who like actually is a fan of them, and then everyone else pretends they are.
Yeah.
I've
been waiting for this project all my life. Like, no, you haven't, bro.
I think something like that probably happened with the Authority, but I think with Sentry, it's like more of a photo.
Yeah, true. And how do you feel about Booster Gold?
Oh, I don't like that. I think Booster Gold has so much potential. Like, it's just such a unique character, and I think that people would love it. Like, I think you could get away with the boys type of thing with Booster Gold, and I really hope that one comes to light because I think that one is going to win a lot of people over, you included.
You're kind of cooking right now with
the
boys. It's kind of fire. That's kind of fire. I'm kind of glad the Authority is taking the back seat.
Well, one more thing. Sorry, because the boys is really just like, what if normal people were superheroes? Like. And I'm not saying that they're like normal per se, but it's more realistic of what it would look like if human beings got superpowers. Because I promise you, if human beings got superpowers, they wouldn't all be like Superman. A lot of them would, pretend to be good guys, like a lot of people who virtue signal, but they'd be absolute savages. And I think that Booster Gold is similar in that sense because he is just a normal guy from the future who got the certain technology to go to the past and make it appear like he was superpowered, but he wasn't. He just had technology from the future.
Yep.
So I think he's similar to the boys in that way.
It's a great point. It's a great point. I'm kind of glad the Authority is taking the back burner right now because we need to establish Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, and Teen Titans first. They should be the main priority first. Facts. Same. I was like, who is the Authority, or who the hell is the Authority? Facts. But I was like, who are these people? And I'm pretty sure some characters from the Authority are in Superman. I think.
Yeah, I think one of them is that
girl, right?
Isabella something.
Yeah, the girl's in it. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Now we talked about this earlier, but we'll talk about it again. A little bit. So Marvel Studios confirms that the X-Men is the focus of the MCU. Brad Winderbaum, who for some reason I guess he's like Marvel's spokesman, he said this. He said that they are not actively developing the first X-Men movie, and they said the focus, or they said that is the focus. The focus is the X-Men currently, and so apparently like they have a team that is focusing on what's going on with the X-Men, and they're trying to really develop the cast in the movie, etc. So how does it make you feel that that Marvel is really gearing up to go hard with this X-Men stuff after the Avengers films are over?
I'm pumped. I think it's gonna make the MCU feel fresh again, but I hope that the Fantastic Four stay prominent, and I hope that the Avengers find their footing and stay prominent. and I know I've said this in the past that like I think once the X-Men come, everything is going to be about them. But I'm not ready to just give up the Avengers and the Fantastic Four either. But I am super hyped for the X-Men. Like, I just think once they come, it's going to be all about them. There's so many of them. The stories are there, and then like everything, once they're there, the other thing is the world is like. It seems like everything to the world is about what we're going to do with the mutants. So, like, how could it not be all about the X-Men? And I think it's going to be interesting to see which stories they're going to take inspiration from and which characters are going to be the most prominent and all that. So that'll be fun. And I'm really looking forward to it.
100%, bro. I think that this is going to change everything. I think that the X-Men is going to rejuvenate the MCU in a way, even though I think that the Fantastic Four is going to do the same thing. Though those two groups need to be the main focus. But as you said, I don't want the Vengees to die or any of the other guys, but or to die off, whatever. But I am really excited, bro. Just I ain't gonna lie, man. I can't wait to see Cyclops, bro.
Man,
I can't wait. I can't wait to see Cyclops. I'm happy to see Storm and Nightcrawler. Really happy to see him. I'm really happy to see Hugh Jackman if he is going to be Wolverine. I'm happy to see him in the mix as well. But I'm really waiting for Magneto and Professor X, man. Those are the two characters that I really want to see. And I want to see who's going to play them as well. And I hope that and for the Magneto design, I really hope they take the inspiration from the X-Men 97 because I liked a husky Magneto. I don't like skinny Magneto. I like a Magneto that's like paws got size on him. So like, come on, man, that was really stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I really hope that they go with that costume design. A little more, like no, I want the old school costume design, and I want them to do it like shot for shot, color by color. Like I want the actual suit. Because I feel like they've always tried to go either like where like with Ian he had the gray with the red helmet or the purple whatever the burgundy helmet, and with Fastby I did like the suit, it was awesome, but I want like a comic booky costume. Like I want it to look crazy. I want it to look like the original.
You know what's funny about X-Men, the first one? You know how they were all in black leather?
Yeah,
they were like the Matrix did. Well, let's use black leather. Seriously, that's the real story.
Yo, question for you. Is it true that Will Smith was supposed to be the main character at first in Matrix?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Dang, that would have been crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
He's an idiot for turning that down. Wow.
He is.
He fumbled that one.
Bro, a lot of actors have had like, not that I think Avatar is so great, but it's made so much money. I know, it's crazy. There are people that like get offended when you say Avatar didn't have a cultural impact, but it didn't. Anyway, but it did make a ton of money. But like Matt Damon was offered the role for like I think it was like an equity percentage, and he turned it down, and it would have like netted him over like $100 million, something crazy.
Jeez.
Like yeah, he's like, I mean, listen, he's had a great career, but 100 mil, bro.
100 mil, dog.
yeah.
Damn. What an L on his part.
Yeah, I like Matt Damon a lot, though.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah,
I'm a big Matt Damon fan.
Yeah, so I guess you're hyped to see him in the Odyssey then.
Yeah, I am. He looked great in that photo.
He does.
Pause.
If people were hating on it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, guys. People love to hate, bro.
Yeah, all of a sudden everyone's
it's not historically accurate. I'm like, out of all the movies that we've seen in this time period, you want to cry about that? Anyways, okay,
bro. It feels like people pretend to be an expert these days just to complain.
Mm-hmm. Like 100%,
it's unreal.
100%. I think he said, "Do you MU whatever? Do you think the MCU will do Avengers versus X-Men?" I feel like the title alone is too big not to do, and if they did Avengers versus X-Men, then I don't know how it's going to work without Tony and Steve, unless Secret Wars recast. Bro, if they're definitely going to do Avengers versus X-Men. There's no way they don't.
I don't know if it's going to be the same story from the comics.
Yeah,
but I do see them doing it just because of the title alone.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be very different, kind of like what we've seen with the Avengers films. But I do think that, like as you said, the title alone is $1 billion. Like, come on, man.
Secret Invasion, like you got to keep in mind that they literally told the writers, don't read the comics because the show you're making has nothing to do with it. And what you also have to understand is that in Marvel Comics, they reuse titles all the time. Like there was another Secret Invasion a couple years ago. There's been a couple different Infinity Wars. There's been a couple different Secret Wars. There's been Civil War 1 and 2. That was a little different because there was a 2 on the second one, but you get the point. I personally, I don't know if I want to see an Avengers versus X-Men movie, but I think the title is just worth so much money that they're going to do it.
I also think that the tide is changing with MCU. I do think they're going to start allowing more comic creators in their room. We saw that with Charles Soule came and consulted heavily on the Daredevil show after the first show that they created. It was a dud. They ended up bringing in Charles Soule, and he consulted heavily on that. Same thing with Sentry 2. The Sentry writer consulted heavily on that, and the Sentry guy and the creator of Sentry said that he has a clause that he has the option to write the first script if they ever do a Sentry film. So, and they have to basically, so I hope that is the start of them trying to, allow more guys in their back room that actually wrote these stories.
So I actually think that might hurt the chances of a Sentry movie.
I don't think a Sentry movie is ever happening.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, like, if Marvel ever wants to make a Sentry movie and they have to use a very specific script writer, and that's not who they want to use, and they're like, oh, we can only do it if we use this guy, you know what? Let's just not do it.
Yeah. And I'm more than sure they could reject it somehow. I think there's no way they would just do it like that. But
Paul Jenkins is like an older writer. Not that that's a bad thing, but I do think that like the more modern writers benefit from having came up after much more innovation to comic writing, and I just don't see them having Paul Jenkins write the script for them. Not that he's a bad writer. I think he's a good writer. But it's just like way past his time.
Fair. That's a fair take. And also with like people like Charles Soule, he's talented enough to be able to do both. You know what I mean? He's able to consult and give a good, like live action direction. So we'll see. All right. Here's my biggest question. Would Avengers vs. X-Men work without Tony and Steve in the Avengers unless Secret Wars recast? So Hungry, look, right? We let's have this conversation after Secret Wars. Because we don't know what's going to happen with Tony and Steve at the moment. And so I kind of can't really answer that. But I will say this. It could work without Steve and Tony. Like, because it's all about the way that they write the story. Like, it might not be the way that we want, but you can make it work. But where I'm at right now, I don't think Sam is going to be Captain America after Avengers is over.
There are so many of them that they've done without a lot of the main characters. They did Infinity War without Adam Warlock. They did, who's the other one I was just going to say? They did Age of Ultron without Wolverine. And there's so many other examples that I'm blanking out on right now. Yeah. But they change the characters all the time. And guess what? They're doing the lead up to Secret Wars without Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, who were like the biggest characters in that story.
Yep. I really want to see the next era of Marvel stick closer to what the Fantastic Four looks like, a sort of retro future aesthetic for more films. Like, I would love to see a Silver Age inspiration in the MCU. Yo, what would be nuts? What would be nuts?
Great comment.
What would be nuts is if after Secret Wars they went just full like retro. That would be crazy.
The thing is, like, as I love your comment and welcome to the chat, Smiles Round. Cool name. But here's the thing. I think that aesthetic is very specific to the Fantastic Four because it's set in the 60s and all this, and like they're Imaginauts, which is what they call them in the comics. Instead of like astronauts, Imaginauts. And I don't know. I just think that is very specific aesthetic is very fitting for not just the Fantastic Four, but the Fantastic Four movie and the setting we're getting. I hope that they can find a way to make it work for the other movies, because I agree with you. I love the retro future aesthetic. But I do think it's like very niche with that movie.
Yeah, I think I'll get sick of it too.
Yeah, I like changing it up. I'm not opposed to that. And I also think like they're not going to do that with the X-Men, because I think they know we want like the classic X-Men outfits, and with like a modern touch, like the way Wolverine's outfit was in Deadpool and Wolverine.
And one thing Marvel does not do bad is costumes, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, they go crazy. I would love to see Kirby and Lee Marvel like how the current MCU is taken from the original Ultimate U.
I agree.
All right, now let's talk about your boy Moon Knight. All right. Let me pull this up here. Okay, so Marvel says that there are plans for Moon Knight to return in the MCU, but not for a Moon Knight season 2. So a lot of fans were questioning, why wouldn't they do Moon Knight season 2? Jerry, why do you think the MCU would not do a Moon Knight season 2, and why they would maybe want to involve him with other characters and rosters and stuff like that?
I think they may have thought that, number one, it wasn't well received by most fans, and number two, I think they struggle with like the episode format when they're used to like 2.5 hour movies, and they're trying to cut it up into episodes because now they're doing TV. And I don't think they've kind of nailed their formula on the format. So I think they like the Moon Knight character, and they recognize that people like the character, and they don't want to give up on him, but they don't want to do a season 2 either.
100%. Do you agree with that?
As much as I want a season 2, yes, I agree.
So I think that Moon Knight had the opportunity to. Well, I loved how Moon Knight dove into their lore with the whole Egyptian gods and the whole avatars and stuff like that. Fit very well with, and I thought there was going to be a connection to Black Panther, but they didn't do it, which kind of killed my vibe a little bit. And they even hinted to it in Thor as well, and they didn't do anything with it. And you and I talked about this off air about Sam, right? I think one of the reasons why Brave New World isn't doing as well is because of the fact that they waited so long to put this movie out. This movie should have came out at least 2 years after Falcon and Falcon and the
Soldier.
Yes, and I think they waited too long. Fans don't care enough. And with Moon Knight, I think it's the same thing. You've waited almost 3 years. It's been almost 3 years since we have seen this character. I think the best way you bring him in is with a team up film. So that's kind of where I think he should be at, and he's such an awesome character. So,
I also think like in the comics, he is very street level and deals with very gritty criminals and gangs, and in New York City. So I think that they could keep him in that Spider-Man, Daredevil, Punisher ecosystem, and I think that dealing with a god-like character would add a nice element to that ecosystem.
Would you be hype if he popped up in that show?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Dude, I know you it's on your list, but like that Jed McKay run, bro, is incredible, and you will see like how well Moon Knight works as a street level character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I rewatch that show often. Moon Knight show is to me, bro. That show's a masterpiece. I really do think it's a masterpiece. I really do. And the music, oh my gosh, like the way that they blended that Egyptian style music with like current, it was. I mean, that is the best show that they've done. That is.
Yeah, I agree.
And Oscar Isaac is a great actor. I mean, the way he's acting out these different personalities, it's talk about range. Talk about range, right?
Yeah. Dude is shit. He was supposed to, and they were making a Metal Gear Solid movie, and he was going to play the main character, Solid Snake.
Do you know something else also hilarious? He was supposed to be Doctor Strange.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So he was in talks to take Doctor Strange before Benedict, bro.
That's crazy.
And he would have been a good Doctor Strange. Oscar Isaac could really act like a lot in like a lot of roles. And it would be funny. I mean, he also voices Miguel O'Hara in Spider-Verse too. They love him.
That I know. He killed it. He killed it.
Yeah. He be working, bro. Bro be getting a lot of work.
Yeah. He's in a lot of ways, he's kind of like Pedro in the way they came up and the brands they worked with and all that.
Yeah, they be putting work, but it's also hilarious because I feel like, bro, we are in the era of locked in because Leo is about to lock in a second film too. Because I know he's doing a film with The Rock, but then they said he's in talks to lock in another film. So I feel like everybody in the actor space is like just getting jobs.
You said Leo DiCaprio?
Yeah, so he's doing a movie with The Rock and Emily Blunt. But then they said he's in talks to lock in another film. I forget what it's called though, but
it's a big deal for The Rock.
Oh, bro, yes.
To be going with Leo, like,
yes,
damn, that's really.
You can't buy your way into that.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna be good for The Rock. Do you think it would be a good Apocalypse?
Yeah, I think he would crush it. That would be sick.
Yeah, I love The Rock.
But the problem with The Rock is I just think that he makes things very political. And I don't mean like American government political. I mean like
Hollywood political?
I mean internally, like Hollywood political. Yeah, and he's going to like use his capital, like his clout capital to get what he wants. I don't think he would be the right thing for the MCU because of the problems and drama he brings internally.
Yeah. Off topic, The Rock is one of the best American come-up stories of all time.
Yeah, I agree. I love
The Rock, bro.
I do.
Yeah.
I just don't want him near the MCU because I think he would wreck it. Like I think he would cause a lot of damage. He's a
lot like a Tom. Like everyone loves Tom Cruise. I don't want him near MCU at all. Because because it's either his way or the highway.
Yeah, exactly. And but I think Tom Cruise is a little different because I think Tom Cruise knows how to work with studios without bashing heads, and I don't think The Rock does.
Yeah, and Tom Cruise does honor art. He does honor art a lot.
Yeah, The Rock is like The Rock creates conflict.
Yeah, dude. I saw this meme. They were like, there was. Bro, it was basically like saying if Tom Cruise was like trying to be Iron Man, they were like he would try to build his own Iron Man suit, and this is meme of him falling out the sky, like falling to check out because he tried to fly in the Iron Man suit. You know, he's always trying to like become the role. By the way, and you were right. I looked at that what to call it, a Dead Reckoning or whatever, the freaking promo. Oh,
it's insane, bro. It's insane.
The promo is W's all around chat, bro. Holy crap. The promo's crazy. I can't wait to see that, bro.
Me too.
All right, let's see. I decently want more color in the costume. Facts, bro. Facts. Moon Knight and Avengers and Doomsday could work. Facts. It could. Hopefully he's on the roster, bro. I hope so. I know we finished talking about Teen Titans. Bro, I could talk Teen Titans all day, bro. But if Damian is Robin and the Teen Titans, that means the longer Brave and the Bold takes. That means the longer Brave and the Bold takes, then the longer Teen Titans will take. Which is why I think it's easier to do Teen Titans before Brave and the Bold with Dick as Robin. Yeah, but I don't think Brave and the Bold happens before. Like Teen Titans is definitely going to come after Brave and the Bold. Brave and the Bold is a priority. Like,
yeah, bro, it's Batman. Like,
yeah, bro.
Batman is their most popular character.
I agree, bro. Like, you can't, like, it doesn't matter who you got, bro. You always go with Batman. And if you're going to introduce, and if you're going to have the Bat family there and all that, like, come on, dog. You can't miss with that. Let's see. Besides most people that know Teen Titans are from 2003 show, so why not give them something very familiar? And then Dick becomes Nightwing in the end, and then appears very well. I can see that. All right, we have two more topics. Okay, So Andor season 2 trailer was finally shown. It's been a few years since we've seen Andor. So I got a lot of stuff I got to get off my chest, man, about Star Wars. So I am very frustrated with Lucasfilm right now. And it is because of the fact that why is it that they land more practical projects, but when it comes to the actual Jedi lore, they butcher it. Like why does Andor look so good, Jerry, but the Acolyte was so bad? It just makes bro, hear me out, bro. With Andor, there's no agenda at all, bro. There's no like weird lead that's taking the show by the balls and trying to be the greatest thing ever. There's nothing bad with the show. But it's like whenever it comes to lightsabers, and Jedi lore and having Luke Skywalker or any of these characters, it's like we always get butchered. And this is what I've come to at this point. Like is Lucasfilm just trying to like slowly destroy what George Lucas did, and they're only putting effort into their new stuff? Like, is that maybe the motivation? Like, bro, I don't know, man. It's just weird.
So, sorry, I feel like I keep cutting you off. I don't want to.
Bro, no, I'm done. Hey,
go on,
bro. Okay, let's go. Okay, and so the only property, bro, that I see handled with care is Mando and Ahsoka. And I feel like Mando and Ahsoka get handled with care because, Dave is ahead there, right? And he's the one that created Ahsoka. And, with Mando, that's Jon Favreau's baby. To an extent, it's Kathleen's baby, too. She's the one that helped out, too. But when it comes to anything that's outside of that circle, like the Andor, Mando, and Ahsoka, even though Mando was done dirty, like the season 3 was not bad, but it seems like anything outside of that circle, it gets cooked. Even with Mark Hamill saying that Luke is gay, it's like, yo, like you, and mind you, he just said it out of nowhere. It wasn't a provoked question. I don't know. It just feels like they're trying to destroy the past, bro.
I don't want to cut you off, so because I know you.
I'm done. Go ahead.
So I think that, I think that the closer a Star Wars property is to the Skywalkers and Jedi and Sith, the more tighter the leash is on creators. And I think that because shows like Mandalorian, Andor, and what's the other one I'm thinking of?
Mando,
Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, like those shows, it seems like the creatives were allowed to, they still had to play in the sandbox, but they, were able to do things the way they wanted to do to a greater extent than, the shows like the other ones that, have been awful. And, for context, I liked Obi-Wan. I liked Ahsoka. But, a lot of people had problems with it. And I think that Lucasfilm needs to, number one, they need to figure out they need to come up with a direction and build around it. And they're not doing any of that. It's just like, here's this show that's like part of the Star Wars brand, and you should care about it because it has the Star Wars logo above the title. And it's like, why should we care about Skeleton Crew? Why should we care about Andor? Like, nobody, like, Andor's good, but would people watch it if it wasn't a Star Wars property? Seriously. And I think that's what a lot of it is. It's like a lot of it is just like, it's a business, so they need to make content for Disney Plus subscribers, and they do it, and they put a Star Wars logo on it, and people watch it. Not as much, and it's starting to wear off. And I think that they need real direction, and I think that direction should be away from the Skywalkers, like enough. And I think they need a new direction, and they should make like a new trilogy. And I don't think that they should put a Disney Plus show around it out until after the first movie. Star Wars is unique in our fandom space because Star Wars was born in the cinema. It wasn't born in a comic book, something else. And I think that to restore Star Wars glory, like I think you need to put out a movie that everyone is talking about and excited, and kids are wanting to play with lightsabers after seeing. Like, you need that. And I think once you have a movie that has that kind of result, then you put the Disney Plus show out. And I'm not saying you build the Disney Plus show after. I'm saying you put it out like 2 months after you release the movie. You have a Disney Plus show ready to go to build around that new ecosystem towards episode 11 or whatever it's going to be. But I think that, with the Skywalkers, number one, we've seen enough of them. Number two, I think that you don't like comic book writers have to live in the continuity of their comics. But if you tell a new Star Wars story, you don't tie it to the Skywalkers, you open that ceiling of limitations. There's so much more you could do, and you need to make it easy for you guys to make quality content right now. So anything you could do that reduces limitations is a good thing. And again, I think that we've had enough of the Skywalkers.
That's your best take in Superherocuts history. I've never seen that. That's probably your best explanation in Superherocuts history. That's the most like seriously, like no glaze. That's probably the best Star Wars response I've ever seen so far. You guys heard it here on Superherocuts. We are the best. We do it the best. And you pose a really great point that I never thought about, as you always do. Because I am a reactionary person. You know this already. And this is, but that's why we fit, because I am reactionary. You're more leveled and mature, and then you bring me back to my senses. But I think that the issue was that they wanted to continue George's story.
Well, I disagree, because if they wanted to continue George's story, why would they abandon his storyboards?
Well, because they wanted to use that clout to push their own thing instead of just creating something brand new altogether.
I don't know if it was about clout, and maybe I think differently because I don't do things for clout.
Yeah,
and I can imagine if you do, that appeal is probably irresistible. But like, I know for me, like when I want to get a deal done, like I don't care about the credit. Like the credit comes with the numbers and the success. Yeah. I don't need to like always be the one that leads the presentation or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do what it takes to get the deal done. I'm a team player. And I think that if you don't think like that, you are going to struggle to have success, because you got to do what is best for the win. And you have to understand that what's best for the win is also best for you. And if you can't see that, I don't understand how you could get to the point you are. But on the other hand, I can't understand how Kathleen Kennedy is still in the seat she is. So
it's ridiculous. It's crazy. It really is crazy. But that's some wise words too about teamwork in general. It's facts. Yeah. And I think that because I do, and I said this before, that I think directors are the most cockiest people ever. I think they're the most arrogant people, and I think to be a director, you have to be arrest to an extent, because you're pushing your own direction. I mean, you have to be to do it. Like, I mean, even us, like to an extent, we have to be very arrogant to come up here and tell you our takes and tell you that some of you guys are stupid. Like, what I mean? That's so.
I'm not humble.
Yeah. So facts. So I get that. It's just like, if you wanted to diverge that far from the lore, why not just create something entirely new that's not, reliant on the Skywalkers at that point? You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. Because now everybody's comparing everything to the past and to, or like you're kind of beholden to the lore of that story because you're connecting directly to that story.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they think it's like if we make her Rey Skywalker, she's going to sell more toys or something like that. I don't know what the thought process is behind that,
Yeah.
but the problem is you shouldn't, when you're making a movie, the primary focus shouldn't be to sell toys. I get that it is a priority, but if that is prioritized over making a good movie, you're also doing your brand a disservice, and you need to have a balance with these things.
Exactly.
I get it. The bottom line is important. I mean, it's everything. But if you keep diminishing your brand, you're gonna hurt your returns in the long run anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And like, just to give a brief history of what happened with the sequels is that, you know, I even forget the director's name. Hold on one second. Rise of Skywalker director, because Ryan Johnson's the second one. Yeah, J.J. Abrams. So J.J. Abrams and ended up doing The Force Awakens. He left, and then see the part that got weird was Ryan Johnson came, the guy that did Knives Out, but he like destroyed everything that J.J. Abrams did. And the issue is that when J.J. Abrams came back, the Rise of Skywalker was kind of like an FU to Ryan Johnson. And so like it was kind of a cockfight, you know what I'm saying?
That pisses me off.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that was the whole thing, is that he was angry at what Ryan did. So a lot of but then on top of that, he didn't have enough time to even develop a story based on anything. You know, he kind of just came in and was like, we're just gonna throw this together, you know, and that's what the movie looks like. You know what I mean? You know, like, and we're just gonna bring back Palpatine because, you know, people are gonna be hype about that, and then we're gonna bring Force Ghost Luke back. You know, it's like, and the biggest fumble in Disney history is Kylo Ren. I will say that forever. That's the biggest fumble, and he was one of the best Star Wars characters I've ever seen in my life, and he got fumbled.
He really did. He was awesome too. Like,
oh, yeah.
When I saw episode 7, I thought we were going to be in for a ride, and then episode 8 happened, and then episode 9. It's crazy. I mean, the things people would do to be able to have a brand like this, and to see them just like, they're so irresponsible with it. It's unfathomable.
Dude, imagine if they did a Kylo Ren movie right after episode 7. Oh my god.
Bro, I always said they should make, like, if there's anyone who could get away with a villain-centric movie, which they basically did with episode 3, it's Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You could do a whole Sith like freaking trilogy and still make $1 billion for real.
Yeah.
If you really dug deep into it.
100%. But even, and I love Kylo Ren, but even then they had to tie it to Han Solo. They can't like just let some character just be new. Like, it has to be related to the original trilogy. And it's like, they keep shooting themselves. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, we got one more topic, then we're out of here. But we're gonna read these last couple comments. One of the problems of the Acolyte with the Acolyte is, I think it should have been set further back, like 500 or 600 years before episode 1. It just felt like 100 years is too close. I could see you saying that, or not, or I could see that. Like, they should just go like 1,000 years in the future or past for new Star Wars story with new characters. Facts. Didn't the Skywalker saga end anyways? So much for that. So that's how Palpatine returned JJ's anger. Will him back to his just, yeah, bro. Well, now the Skywalker saga is going on still, because, you know, Rey's about to be like a new mentor to a new group of Jedi, which I'm not against. Like, that's something that I said I want. I want her to die off and kind of be the mentor. But that was when the Rise of Skywalker did $1 billion, and I thought that they could get away with doing another one to pass on the torch in 2025, in 2025. Not sure if that's going to work. Now, before we get off, I want to read some Daredevil Born Again reviews. They literally just dropped right when we went live, or like at least a half hour before. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I want to pull up some reviews and read them off to you. So, all right, let me pull this up, because they had a whole press thing where they took pictures and all this stuff. Okay, here we go. Here's a reaction. It is a powerful reintroduction to Marvel's most complex and scourged character. Charlie Cox and D'Onofrio take their rightful place in the MCU and set the stage for the darkest and most brutal chapter yet. I've seen the first 2 episodes and am very hype about the rest. Crazy. Next one. Oh, Jerry, I feel like this one this is like my favorite one so far. The first 2 episodes are like a adrenaline rush, unlike anything I felt from the MCU in a long time. Being back in this world feels so good, and you can feel the love everyone involved has for this. Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio slip into their roles again effortlessly, and Michael Gandolfini is a scene stealer. The action is brutal and excellently choreographed from top to bottom. It's truly a spectacle. This is a major win for Marvel, and season 2 can't come soon enough. So people are like ecstatic about this, bro.
Bro, first of all, Michael Gandolfini is Tony Soprano's actor's son in real life.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Who's he playing?
I'm about to check. Feeney, Daredevil.
I'm trying to find out.
He's playing Daniel Blade.
Okay.
Yeah, he's playing the role of Daniel Blade. So that's crazy. So well, I love the fact that he's still in scenes. So like they have someone that's like kind of like stepping up in this show. This sounds fun.
Yeah, this show sounds awesome. I can't wait. Daredevil's one of my top favorite characters, bro. Oh, I cannot wait for this show.
Oh yeah, bro.
This is like next week, right?
First week of March, right? Yeah. First week of March, I think. Wait, darn, March is this Sunday. Holy crap.
Bro, that's a week from tomorrow.
Bro, what is going on? Dude, we got Jack Reacher, Invincible, and Daredevil. Yeah. How am I gonna keep up with this stuff, man? They got too much going on.
Yo, TV is so lit right now.
It is. So, all right, guys, we're gonna end it here for a night, man. We hope you guys have a good night. Content going out every single day. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at I almost said my personal Instagram, STVs. At Comic Cuts and at Superhero Cuts. Follow us at Spectrum Cuts as well. We hope you guys have a great day and peace out.
Peace.